Welcome in to Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we will talk about the top potential free agent targets for your Seattle Seahawks as the NFL trade deadline has come and gone. And here's what we're looking at for this Seattle Seahawks team. They didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. And now you look at this team, and they're in position, right, to move forward and see what they got to make this playoff push. And you may be saying to yourself, well, look, this Seahawks team has got something working. Everything's heading the right direction. And you're not wrong about that. But you have to do the due diligence of continuing to reevaluate your team. I can't speak. And what you can do to get better. And here's the reality. Seattle doesn't have to make any moves. They don't have to add anybody if they don't want to when it comes to free agency. But you have to continue to just evaluate and see if there's players out there that can make you better and where the weaknesses are in your roster. You look at the cap space situation right now, Seattle doesn't have a whole lot in cap space right now either. Just $3.5 million to spend. So if there is a free agent that they like that we talk about here on today's show, it's going to require some flexibility of some sort, some movement in order to sign one of those said players. But with that, let's go ahead and start with the list of potential free agent options for your Seattle Seahawks. And number one is kind of the obvious name that's out there, Odell Beckham Jr., formerly of the Los Angeles Rams, won a Super Bowl last year with L.A., but he's coming off a torn ACL. And we're still waiting to see exactly when OBJ will be back. But nonetheless, OBJ was a huge impact for the Los Angeles Rams team in their Super Bowl run and was able to adapt and help out Matthew Stafford a lot. But the thing with Odell Beckham, and when it comes to Seattle with their salary concerns here, there are going to be a lot of suitors interested in OBJ. Just right off the top of my head, the Baltimore Ravens would be a team that's interested in OBJ, the Los Angeles Rams, the Green Bay Packers, the Buffalo Bills, maybe even the Kansas City Chiefs, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it's going to be a bidding war of sorts to get OBJ. The Seahawks already have two good receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So do you want to spend a decent amount of money to make OBJ your number 3 receiver when your tight end room looks pretty good as well? That might be a reach, but OBJ is going to get discussed everywhere with still being available as talented player as he is. So, would you sign Odell Beckham if you're Seattle? If you would, type OBJ. If not, for no particular reason, type NOBJ in the comment section below. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it and let me know what you think about the idea of bringing in Odell Beckham Jr. Type OBJ for yes, type NOBJ for no if you want to sign Odell Beckham Jr. Number 2 on our list is Ndamukong Suh, the defensive tackle that is a Super Bowl champion, 3-time Pro Bowler, previously played for Detroit, Miami, the Rams, as well as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he's also a native of the Northwest. Remember, he's from Portland, Oregon. And with Ndamukong Suh, this is a guy that's had a tremendous career. But when you talk about the salary situation, kind of like what we talked about with Odell Beckham Jr., the reports that are out there are that Suh has gotten offers to come back, but they haven't been to his liking, that he's looking for more money, and that teams have not been looking to pay the money that Ndamukong Suh would like, essentially, is the situation there. And you look at this Seahawks team, Suh could have an instant impact right away and could be a nice piece, but it's not going to be cheap if they're going to bring Ndamukong Suh to Seattle as far as that goes. So, if you had to choose between these two, though, between Odell Beckham and Ndamukong Suh, we'll get to the other names here in just a second, but just between those two, if you could write a check for one or the other, who would it be? If it's for Odell Beckham Jr., type O. If it's for Ndamukong Suh, type S for Suh. Let me know. O for Odell, S for Sue in the comments section below. Today's show is presented by Established Titles, the newest partner here at Chat Sports, and they are offering a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global restoration efforts, reforestation efforts. It is a project based on a Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Scotland with an official certificate with a crest. They plant a tree, and it also helps with global charities like One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support this reforestation effort. And with that title of Lord or Lady, it's great for your credit card or plane tickets, dating profiles, whatever it may be. And with the holiday season here, it's awesome for last-minute gift ideas for the holiday season, whether it's for friends or loved ones, in-laws. You see on screen there, I already got mine. I am now officially Lord Tyler Jones. And here's the thing, folks. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link are going to be on my plot. If you go to establishedtitles.com/chat, you can save an extra 10% for the holiday season, and we can have our own Seahawks Today Kingdom. Look, Seahawks used to play in the Kingdom. Let's move things over to Scotland and have our own Seahawks Today Kingdom there. Sign up now. It's a great deal. Establishedtitles.com/chat to get yours today, and you'll be glad you did. Moving on now, let's talk about Sheldon Richardson, the defensive tackle who spent time with the New York Jets, also was a member of the Seattle Seahawks, and also played for Minnesota and Cleveland, a 2014 Pro Bowler, and a 2013 Defensive Rookie of the Year. Richardson, a little older than most of the players that we're going to mention on this list, and Richardson, very talented, but not necessarily sure how much he has left in the tank. Last year, counted for 39 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. He's a name to watch, and a reunion of sorts would certainly be interesting if he makes his way back to Seattle there. A couple more names for you. Let's now get to in just 1 second. Before we do, though, should Seattle sign a free agent, whether it be a guy like Richardson or OBJ or Ndamukong Suh or anybody for that matter in the free agent market? What say you guys? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If the Seahawks should sign a free agent, let me know in the comments section. Y for yes, N for no if they should. 2 more names. Let's talk about Ereck Flowers now, the offensive lineman that has been a journeyman of sorts, already played for 4 teams, the Giants, the Jags, the Commanders, as well as Miami. He was a first-round pick out of Miami, and last season played in 16 out of 17 games. Did allow 6 sacks, though. And if you look at the Seahawks offensive line, we already know that they've dealt with some injuries when it comes to the guard spots here. Flowers could potentially be that fit for Seattle to add to their depth and be another piece of sorts that has game experience that could jump in right away and be a piece for them to look at for that guard spot. He can also play tackle as well, so if an injury were to happen to, let's say, to Abraham Lucas or to Charles Cross, either one, there's some flexibility of what Flowers could potentially do. And then there's one name for you, and that is Matt Paradis, a center. And remember, Austin Blythe has his injury, and Kyle Fuller stepped up in his place and did a really good job last week. But we're still waiting on Austin's status of when necessarily he's going to be good to go, right, of when his return. His return could be this week, but we're still waiting on what that update necessarily is. And you look at Matt here. This is a guy that has won a Super Bowl, played for Denver and for Carolina. This could be a good backup option if Austin's going to be out for a while and somebody behind Kyle Fuller. I think you go with Kyle Fuller as your main center, that he earned that based on the performance of what he did filling in for Austin. But obviously you need some depth, some other options there if we don't see Austin back for a while. So those are my top 5 guys that I'm looking at, possible free agent targets. Remember, Seattle's got some cap issues, so not necessarily sure they can go out and get somebody, but nonetheless, those are the top options with free agency in the books now. With the trade deadline, rather, in the books now. Name a player the Seahawks should sign, whether it was somebody we talked about or somebody we did not talk about. Let me know in the comment section below. One name you think Seattle should go out and sign. As always, you can interact with me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well, at Tyler Jones Live, talking about your Seattle Seahawks all the time on those social media platforms. And I'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.